Big wit, ladies and gents! Pitty Master here, and welcome to another episode of Pitty and Pals React to Death Battle! This time, we'll be looking at the Sentry from Marvel Comics versus Superboy-Prime from DC Comics. But before we get into the episode, I want to briefly go into my thoughts on the matchup itself. What are the odds that the same year I decide to spruce these videos up with more clips, I get an episode with a single movie between these two? What do you want me to do with this, Ben Singer? Thanks to my buddy Will for giving me Lego footage to work with. You came in clutch. We've finally gotten another Marvel vs. DC episode after 3 long years. Crazy to think we live in a timeline where most of the fandom actually misses these episodes. I personally would have preferred we got something more grounded to rein the pairing back in instead of another episode with stats, but I suppose beggars can't be choosers. I'm just happy we returned with a matchup as otherwise cool as this one. Sentry vs Superboy-Prime had me sold off of the premise of both characters alone. The Sentry is an industry plant in the most literal fashion imaginable. He's a superhero that Marvel tried to make you think was always one of the OG boys alongside the Fantastic Four or Captain America, even referencing comics he starred in that weren't even real. The explanation being that the universe just willed this hero into existence. I assume to have the most literal interpretation of a cosmic joke. Superboy-Prime, meanwhile, is a comic book geek that got isekai'd into DC to become a hero in, air quotes, the size of Oregon. He's not only endearingly insufferable about the medium, but his trademark ability is to literally punch so hard he completely alters continuity and rewrites the narrative. The retcon punch, if you will. Sentry's very nature would really piss Prime off. A comic character he knows isn't real and doesn't have the history with the medium he claims to have, and is just there purely to gaslight readers like him. Plus, there's a surprising amount you can do with the idea of the retcon punch, like Prime shifting art styles with a hard enough hit to match the older ages of comic books, whether it be the goofier eras or the grittier times. You can even play it in a somewhat unsettling manner when factoring the Void in. Having Prime's narrative rewriting go to such a point, he brings out a Lovecraft monster to flip his shit at. I obviously don't expect all of this to be played out at length in such a short animation, but that just goes to show exactly how unique and fun an idea this matchup is. It stands out from other fights between flying brick superheroes or reality warping gods by playing into something more meta. I mean, come on, it's a comic book OC versus a comic book self-insert. That's a fucking hilarious concept. So now it's time to flip the page and see how it plays out. For this video, I got some of my friends sit down and watch the episode with me. Will Sentry make Clark's powers null and void, or will Superboy beat Bob in his prime? Let's find out!
You cannot speed a flower's dream.
Oh my god, don't click this video if you don't want Delta spoilers. It might accidentally come out.
The Roaring Knight
It
is
might actually
Papyrus.
blurt it out. The Roaring Knight is Papyrus.
Papyrus
Legasp.
kills fans.
It'd be incredibly funny if one of you did blurt out a spoiler, considering I haven't even played the fucking game.
A gulp.
I'm sorry. Sorry, but I'm sorry. Sans Deltarune has passed away. We were all sad.
No.
Okay, we gotta get Pit the Swordmaster on Deltarune, bro. We gotta get Pit the Swordmaster on Undertale, bro. Pitty and
Well, I
Pals
played
play
the
Undertale,
neutral
right,
route.
guys? Pitty and Pals plays Undertale, so he can act the actual experience. Comments, like the video if you think Pit the Swordmaster should play all of Undertale on the channel.
What if at the end of the fight it cuts to Wiz and Boomstick and it's like, wow, that fight sure took a weird route.
It's true.
Right? It was crazy, wasn't it?
Can't stop cackling at that Prime render. Images you can hear.
Chud.
It's the most like soy Jack versus Chad thumbnail I've ever seen.
Ironic considering with Prime you'd think he would have done it the other way around.
Prime is too much of a story.
Sorry, fraud! I retconned it so you're the virgin and I'm the Chad!
He would do that.
Yeah.
He would do that.
Yeah.
Sentry vs Prime was a good wait period because it was pretty chill most of it, but like I hope the next one is also a decent time. I hope the next time's gonna be fucking Kane versus Alistair or some shit. I'm gonna be growing real loud.
Put it all on Ang Traveler.
It's not gonna be Aang Traveler, I hope.
I'm gonna be Aang versus Traveler, and the only footage we see in the trailer is from the movie.
And then Ben Singer gets found dead in a back alley.
It's gonna be mortifying when the next time trailer pops up and the first words we hear is "I'm your ringmaster."
I'm your ringmaster, and I'm your ringmaster, and I'm your ringmaster.
It seems
Day
to
after.
me that it seems.
Welcome to the amazing digital circus! Amazing digital circus! I'm your ringmaster. I'm your ringmaster.
Okay,
I'm your
maybe
ringmaster, and I'm your ringmaster.
maybe if this is how this is how Alistair can win. He can break the code, so he's just in the loop.
It's true.
Keeping that stream was so funny because I'm pretty sure it was like 2 hours in before I decided to quit, and by that point I hadn't even gotten past Gangle's name drop.
I tried joining it, and I was locked. I was fucking stun locked like it was Sonic 06 Silver boss fight. It was just a never-ending loop of the amazing digital circus. I'm your ringmaster. And I'm your ringmaster. And I'm your ringmaster. In the amazing digital circus.
Dude,
I'm here to
imagine
show you the amazing digital circus.
Imagine you get to episode 9, you're near the end, you finally think it's over, and then welcome to the amazing digital circus! Damn it!
Back in hell.
I tried.
The
I tried
rule
going.
that the rule that the loops also have their own loops makes it an actual nightmare. Like
I tried to endure it today. My brain was too cracked to go past an hour.
comments, check the video we're talking about in the description below.
Right, now I'm gonna have
Let
to
us
add
know
it.
when you stopped watching.
Leave it in our comments how long you survived.
And let whoever the channel that owns that stream is, let them know that we sent you.
Look, Jax, look, I know we don't get along, but I think Kane is our ringmaster.
Look, Jax, I know we don't get along, but oh god, that's Superboy-Prime, we're gonna get retconned. Pray whatever god you believe in.
Ah! Look, Jax, I'm sorry to say this, but Superboy-Prime did not like the Night Twist. He retconned to Papyrus Knight.
Look, Void, I know we don't get along, but I think I found a way to beat Superboy-Prime.
The best way to describe Superboy-Prime's character arc is that he would fucking hate Undertale and make really bad posts about it on 4chan, and post Redemption he's up to date with Elturine. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have guessed that the only thing we'd be talking about before the episode drops is just Deltarune and Amazing Digital Circus.
Listen, man, this episode came out way too close to Deltarune Chapter 5. That's all the cool kids are talking about these days.
Yep.
That means the next time is gonna be King versus Tenna. Because they definitely predicted that Toby Fox would drop the episode in June.
And Battle gonna be looking at that like, awkward.
It would be really funny. Could they genuinely not have found a better render for fucking Superboy-Prime, dude? I know there's the other thumbnail, but that other thumbnail has Sentry fan art. Which,
Retro Spaghetti-O.
not even sure if it's
Womp
been credited in the description, so, awkward.
I would have been like fine if they just credit the artist used.
I don't understand why Death Metal takes the idea of like, oh, this render is fan art, let's remake the entire thumbnail instead of putting a credit in the description. I feel like one is easier than the other, right? I feel like surely.
It's like, yeah, look, it surely cannot be hard to just edit a description of a link.
This is Liam
Didn't
Swan's
King's-
fault somehow.
Didn't Kingsley like make a fucking Google Doc with all the sources for all the render fan art,
Oh.
and then instead of giving the credit, they just replaced every thumbnail? That's such a weird choice.
Yes, that did happen. I do remember.
That's such a weird choice. But I don't work for Death Metal. I don't know how that works. It's TV time. There's no Sentry with Superboy. Oh shit! Whoa! What?
We're just
Sentry
starting there.
versus Superboy-Prime. These two dark supermen prove that sometimes absolute power corrupts absolutely. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. One superhero stands alone at the peak of
He looks like
Marvel
him.
Comics.
Take that fucking
He's a
art
brilliant
seriously.
scientist and friend
Nah,
to
yeah,
it's
all.
the official art,
Golden
too.
Guardian of Good, the Sentry. Which makes it all the more mysterious when all of humanity
Why is
forgot
the
about
Nightman
him,
there?
as though he never existed in the first
true.
place. What if
Why is he
the
there?
reason we
The
forgot
roaring
Sentry
void.
is that he wanted to be forgotten? To save us, from himself.
It'd just be like,
As
I got
the
my whole
story
life ahead of
goes,
me. No, you
Robbie
don't.
Reynolds
The
was
Superboy.
just your
Honor
average,
Watchdog,
ordinary high school
One
teen.
strength
Hey,
and
hey,
one
One
LSD.
day, he accidentally drank this super
Yeah,
soda
that did happen,
serum.
yeah.
At that moment, Robbie was imbued with the power of a
Starting
million
early, I guess.
exploding suns, or even hear a butterfly sneeze from across the planet.
You butterfly sneeze?
Thank you for the Bob and
No.
Rob and
Well,
Regowie.
Sentry cells absorb and process the sun's
Memory
rays,
eraser,
and
my
if he wants to,
manipulation.
he can fire that
Yeah.
solar energy right back at you in a powerful laser,
Didn't even know
or
molecular
bend light
kinesis
away
was
to
a
turn
word.
invisible, or use it
Probably
to make
isn't.
force fields.
Really, the Sentry can
Okay,
draw power
superpowers
from
wiki, I
anywhere
must
and
consult you.
everywhere. He's even built his own watchtower with an advanced AI that is constantly monitoring the planet for threats.
Jesus Christ, he's like the Avengers all in one.
Reminds
Why
me
do
of
there
my
even
PC
need
setup.
to be any other superheroes?
Indeed, the Sentry
That's
is
why I'm
more
just
than
working
strong
on the
enough to take on
laptop.
Marvel's heaviest hitters, like his famous battle with the Green Scar Hulk, where
Wow.
Black Bolt, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange failed.
He went so-
the
he went
Sentry
so
was
fast,
the
it was an
only
extreme
one
rarity in
who
the
stood
Marvel
against
universe.
the Hulk's full power.
I'm glad
He's
someone
also
said it
better
before I
Thor,
did.
who collapsed an infinite number of timelines into one by clashing with another Thor.
The Sentry is incredibly fast, too. He can bend space and speed blitz Ares, who can move within plank time, the
Speed
smallest unit of time possible
Yes,
in our
in fairness,
universe.
He's stated
they
to be
won't-
as fast
they're not
as the
technically
heralds
wrong
of
about light
Galactus,
speed
like
being a
the
rarity in
Silver
Marvel,
Surfer, who
because
once
everyone is
outraced the
infinitely
multiverse
faster
blowing
than
up.
light.
This surfer flew so fast he went back in
Oh,
time.
Frankly, maybe
Silver-
it's like-
Silver Surfer, my goat.
Some punk in a trench
Silver
coat.
But
Surfer.
it wasn't so simple. Because the truth was, the Sentry and the Void were one and the same.
Bum, bum,
What?
plot twist.
That's
Turns
crazy.
out Sentry's whole origin story was a lie. Robbie Reynolds wasn't a 60s
Oh.
high schooler beating up bullies like some
I
Jack
thought this was
Kirby
an
comic.
editing
In
error for a
reality,
moment.
Bob
Oh,
was
okay.
a
Oh,
pathetic who
I
drank
like
the
that.
Sentry serum just to get
Oh, no, like,
closer
good
to
reference,
the Void
good
was.
reference,
In
Me to put that
reality,
there.
a
Oh.
malevolent godlike entity bonded to Bob that was the literal angel of death.
Yes, from the
God.
Bible, with Moses and the Pharaoh and the
Bible.
dead firstborns. That's him, apparently.
The
And
devil
this being
from the
manifests as
Bible?
the dark side of Bob's shattered psyche, a villainous
Hey,
alter ego
Bob,
with all of
it's
his
me,
power. Too much
tired
power
of
for any
tricking
one man
aliens.
to handle. The only way to destroy the Void
Uh.
was to also destroy the Sentry. A picture of the Sentry would still
2000 was a
technically
really good run, by the
exist,
way.
but
Everyone
in
in
your
the-
mind's
yeah,
eye,
everyone watching this should
including
agree.
Bob's, it
Yeah.
not there.
Great. Everyone knows repressing your
Hey,
problems
everybody.
always makes them better.
But Bob's memories eventually clawed their way back, in part thanks to Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin,
Fuck Norm.
and his
Hi,
desire
Norman.
to somehow
This guy
control
thought-
the
this
Void.
guy thought having
so
the
Norman had the
Void on his
Thunderbolts
payroll is a good
murder
idea.
Bob's wife Lindy in order to release, the Angel of Death.
Yeah, try controlling the kind of guy who can throw hands with Molecule Man, who somehow is one of the strongest
I did
in all of Marvel. He's got almost complete control over the multiverse. So yeah, good luck with that one, Norm.
Molecule Man was another mentally unstable
Molecule Man.
god whose power fluctuates based on their self-confidence. In a way, a sort of kindred spirit to Bob.
It was then that Bob discovered the true source of his own powers, his own control over molecules. Yeah, you can do that too.
The Sentry can create and destroy matter on a whim, able to rip you apart at the molecular level, or conjure an entire new reality from scratch, all with just a wave of his hand, like Dr. Manhattan.
He can also regenerate his body from any
as
kind of
determined
damage,
in Sentry
like
versus
being
Dr.
burnt
Manhattan.
to a skeleton or getting
Real.
Dr. Manhattan himself.
As long as one single solitary atom remains, the Sentry is
I just gotta
unkillable.
walk
And
in on
Boyd's
that
got all of
retcon
this and
punch.
more, except he
Retcon,
doesn't hold
this
back.
retcon
He
for
can
all the
shapeshift,
retcon.
create
Please,
hurricanes,
Boyd.
trap
Punch,
you in
punch,
darkness,
punch, punch.
possess your body, and devour your soul.
With his
You know what I've seen
infinite
in
tendrils,
Age of
the
Ultron
Void takes
when
control
Iron Man
of
is
the
just
victim's
punching the
mind
shit out of
and
Hulk?
tortures them with the memories
Yeah,
of
that's
I
what
just
gotta
like
do.
to imagine
traumas
that, but
and
instead of saying
nightmares.
go to sleep, he just
killed
goes,
Loki.
die,
He
die,
wrecked
die,
Asgard.
die,
The
die.
Avengers,
Die,
the
die,
Fantastic
die,
Void
die,
Four,
also
the
overwhelmed
Inhumans,
Doctor Strange
and the
and Loki.
X-Men teaming
It's
up
scaling
all
to
at
go
once.
Marvel. What?
Could barely handle him. Void is one of the biggest bads in Marvel.
As
Great
determined in
fucking
Dormammu
job,
versus
Norm.
Trigon.
I'm something
That's
of a
determined.
moron
Dormammu
myself.
versus
All
Trigon.
the
What
way
the fuck?
forward, the only way for Bob to save
Norman,
everyone,
what the
including
fuck?
himself, was
I
to
want
do
to see that
something he
tape.
never imagined. let the void in.
By refusing to repress his
Wait,
darker half
weren't
anymore,
Sentry killed
Sentry
a
and
dead
Void
Celestial?
merged and became stronger than the
It
sum
wasn't
of their
merged
parts.
Sentry,
One
though.
being
Or am
now
I-
free
was
to
that a
finally
different
live his life
storyline?
without the crushing weight of
Oh, yeah, it was
self-hatred and
supposed to
fear.
be like-
Maybe,
Don
but
King
this is
did
the
it
Void we're talking about.
Yeah,
What if
I remember
Bob
that.
just has a new puppet master who's only letting him think he's in control?
As
No,
long as
has
the void
revived it like a
exists,
fucking
it's just
zombie.
another revolution in that same endless cycle. It remains to be seen whether even death itself can break that
I
wheel.
know.
He'll be back.
I know.
Sentry is gone, but not forgotten. He'll never be forgotten again.
I do in 26.
I will never be
No.
a memory.
That was
That
a
was
good. That was
fucking
good.
Do
Right.
you believe a man
Yeah,
can
I like
This
that.
one I'm more excited for. This one I'm more excited
Yeah,
for. Let's
Wiz,
see.
within the pages of DC Comics, everyone in their irradiated six-dimensional gorilla mother can do it.
Well, what about
Thank
in
you,
the
Crip.
real
Congrats on
world?
getting your Series
Not
4
Earth
Wonder
1
Woman.
or Earth 2, but our own Earth. Earth Prime.
The Earth of you, me, and Clark Kent.
Time
A
trapper, there
totally
it is.
normal boy from
It's
New
prime
England
time.
who just happened to share a
Prime,
name
no,
with
it's
that
prime
comic
time.
book character.
Mere coincidence. That is, until the day Clark took a leap of faith and believed he could fly.
And he did. Surprise, surprise, Clark was actually from the planet Krypton, which apparently exists in our universe now? Anyway, the real Superman, the one from all
That's
those
what that
comics he
exploding
loved, showed
planet
up just
outside
in time
was.
to give him the skinny on being
How the hell did
Superboy.
you see that? That was
Wait,
ages
he could
ago.
have chosen me! I believe I can fly!
Boomstick, don't jump off the... Oh.
This is just how I cope with
Clark
back from
had
getting
all your
old.
classic Kryptonian powers.
That's crazy.
Flight, heat vision, microscopic and telescopic sight.
The Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wiz,
I
we're
remember
canonically dead since
Good season.
1986,
Yeah, that happened.
apparently.
With everyone
Yeah.
he knew and loved gone, Clark took shelter
Dying
in a
was a
pocket
weird
dimension
experience,
with
but
other
you get used to
cosmic
it.
refugees.
There's nothing
Now, an
after this, by the
anachronism
way.
in DC's new rebooted post-crisis
There
continuity,
is no
Clark
afterlife.
was
It's
forced
gone.
to watch
Nothing.
as the comics landscape changed
That's
before his
terrifying.
eyes. As stories became darker and morally complex, as heroes failed to be the paragons of good he saw them as in his childhood.
As someone else
No,
got to be
media
Superboy.
literacy.
Some
My
people
one
can't
weakness.
stand change. Can't stand
I-
to see
I
a
hate
world
the
that
nuance
doesn't look
hat.
the way it did when they were a child. The day needed to be saved by Superboy, the real Superboy, Superboy-Prime.
So he did what any Superboy would do.
Awesome.
Punch really hard.
Good at it.
He punched his way out of the dimension so hard, the shockwaves rippled
No, I
through the
mentioned
universe
this,
and retconned DC
earlier in
Comics.
Superman.
Superboy was back,
This would
and he
have
was
been the
gonna
most
fix comic
boring
books
looking
forever.
analysis ever if
Hell
this was
yeah.
done in like
No
season
matter how
5 or
many
6.
fake heroes got
I'm
his
so
Yeah.
glad they did
Oh
this
shit!
when they locked in
Super
the comic editing.
Prime isn't just your ordinary
And
Kryptonian.
oh my god, the
oh,
panels
no.
are actually in the
He's
forefront when you
pre-crisis.
need to read
As
them.
in, from before the Crisis on Infinite Earths, a time when comics were a bit more...
Baby.
Go my
When
LGBT beam.
Superman could sneeze solar
For
systems
Prime
apart
as
or
well.
tow a galaxy of planets behind him
Just
like it
before
was
Prime
nothing.
over too.
Or clash with another Kryptonian so hard, they generated enough power to restore an infinite number of timelines.
Get ready to
Good
hear
for them.
that word a lot. My favorite is the time Superman flew so fast he broke the light barrier, the time barrier, and even the bonds of infinity. I wonder if these writers ever imagined this bullshit would feed nerd arguments for the next half century. Not that I'm complaining.
Like
That's how I
half
get paid.
century.
Prime would know he is a self-described power scaler's dream.
Huh.
I
think he's heard
love
about us.
Superman art.
We can only hope not. As a Kryptonian with an ultra-dense molecular structure, he should also share many of
gonna
the same
laugh so
resistances,
hard if
like being transmuted to stone,
the
having his atomic bonds weakened, or
post-analysis
getting
has
his energy drained.
Prime pulling a
Kryptonians like
pill and
Superman
just
can withstand more
interacting with
esoteric
a
attacks
boomstick.
too. They can actively resist mental attacks by
Retcon punch.
outthinking them, and their souls can
If
resist
any
being
episode is gonna do the
destroyed.
fake,
All thanks to
fake
Earth's good
verdict thing,
old
it's
yellow
gonna be
sun
this,
fueling
because
his
it's
cells.
gonna get
And
punched.
unlike that
Yeah.
post-crisis
Gotta say, other
super
universes are
fraud who
higher
gets
dimensions,
weaker
okay.
without sunlight, Superman, but real.
Superman, if he was a fucking idiot.
Fucking
Okay,
idiot.
sure, he has the same
I'll kill
hyper-efficient
you to
brain that
death.
all Kryptonians have, but when it came to being a superhero, he was a violent, immature moron.
Exactly what you'd expect from a kid who never grew up and never learned to hold back. Instead of saving Earth's heroes, he started massacring them. And let's be real, there's a part of him that knows that editorial will just bring them all
I
back
mean, it got
eventually.
retconned.
He's
Did
battled
I
the
really
Doom
kill
Patrol, Justice Society, Teen Titans, and 3 Flashes
Well,
at
that's the
once.
fucking Flowey
He effortlessly
mentality.
murdered an alternate universe Justice League, and even killed his rival, Connor Kent, the new Superboy. Even
Oh,
as other
Connor.
Kryptonians grew in power to become comparable to their pre-crisis iterations, Prime still held an advantage because he never held back.
Like the time he tore apart the Monarch's armor, accidentally unleashing the
Big
Big Bang in his face,
Can't believe he stole that
destroying
food
the
from Hulk.
universe, and he was fine.
Or the time a Guardian of the Universe blew himself
Oh, yeah,
up in an
classic.
attempt to stop Prime, blasting him into the multiverse atom by atom, and that only made Prime
Say that again?
stronger.
Or the time he fought a potential future version of himself who became a god of time, and instead of teaming up, Prime stupidly attacked him.
They knew what he had become, and they were terrified.
Once again, forced to watch as his heroes progressed without him.
Be
He
like reading
pored over
the world's
comic
most
after
colorful
comic,
serial
learning
killer
everything about
manifesto.
DC,
And a little bit of Marvel.
only to discover his worst
Hey, he likes
possible
Spider-Man.
nightmare.
Not only would he
respect that.
never get to be Superman, he wasn't even a super villain that people liked. Turns out, power levels aren't everything.
So, naturally, he flew to DC headquarters and attacked the people writing his own comic.
Like some infinitely recursive meta hell.
Prime had become a whiny, petulant, reactionary fanboy. Wiz, you think he's the guy
Yeah.
posting on our Reddit?
Oh.
And at the peak of his
That's not a
fame,
Escalator!
he
The bias
murdered
against
the
DC
Golden
Comics!
Age
Did you see
Superman.
that they edited his
The
mouth
I
to
did.
make a
Superman.
mouth breathing?
Action Comics
Yeah.
#1. The first
fucking funny.
superhero.
Instead of restoring DC's glorious past, Prime beat it to death. He needed to change.
And that opportunity came when this alternate universe
Oh, boy.
Jokerized Batman Who Laughs threatened to destroy
Oh my
all
God.
of reality.
Prime was drafted to help save the day, and it turned out he was the only Superboy who could.
Remember that time Prime punched reality so hard he retconned DC Comics?
Succeeded.
Turns out that was no coincidence. Due to his repeated excursions across the multiverse, Prime became a space-time anomaly, and he slowly learned how to manipulate reality itself
That's
with
still very
his
interesting.
fists.
I guess you could call it his retcon punch.
At first, its effects were random, like bringing Jason Todd back to life or restoring Beast Boy's memories. But he started to use it to rewrite continuity to fix the evil universes of the Batman Who Laughs.
Giving them and all the characters inside of them happy endings. In a weird way, that's what Superman has always done, right?
Thank you,
Punch the
Bruce,
bad
who
guy
chuckles.
so hard he saves the day.
Prime can punch hard
The only
enough to
time
enter
we'll
the
ever say
time
this.
stream, seemingly exit the comic medium
He did
entirely,
not
and
defeat
even
Mr.
defeat the
It was
nigh
a
omnipotent
weird-
Darkest
weird
Night.
thing.
Who was
Whatever.
powerful enough to beat
Yeah.
Perpetua,
Yeah, there it is.
the goddess who created all of DC Comics, the whole shebang. And Prime hit the Darkest Night so hard, he erased his entire evil multiverse.
A feat that no one actually saw happen. Prime's first true act of heroism was one that he did selflessly, and it was the first step toward becoming a true hero.
The kind of hero that Superman always
I
secretly
don't know why,
knew he
but him
could be.
just
A
doing
hero
that
who
feat
could
just has the
someday
same
get his
energy
own
as
issue #1.
that one
A
fucking
hero
post.
like,
I remember
well,
Mr. Mambo
Superman.
like
Maybe one day
planet
Prime will
explodes, removes
truly
one earbud.
believe in himself,
What?
just like he once believed he could fly.
Let Blarp with me.
Great analysis.
Yeah, that was
great analysis.
That
All
was
right, the
great.
battle's
Very
about to
good.
begin.
Alright.
All right, the combatants are
Yeah, let it
through
go!
all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Yo.
Bob is going to fucking die.
Bob, prove it
This
wrong.
city won't last much longer. Quit while you're behind, kid.
Mess up a superhero crossover? No way, Dork. Onomatopoeia
People would
Oh,
fucking
he's-
say that.
Right?
He's talking like a judge. They got it right.
Ooh, nice. I appreciate the comic book onomatopoeia.
It's cute, yeah.
Look what he's literally said onomatopoeia coming right up.
You're dealing with someone who has the power of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
million exploding suns!
Yeah.
Mistake,
Good delivery.
dipwad. It's prime time.
It's what?
Are you kidding
Pointing
me?
out
Another dark
Thomas.
Superman fraud? Boring. It's cool when I do it.
Please, stop hitting me.
He'll kill you. I'll kill you. To death.
Alright. Avoid my
Oh, wow!
Holy shit!
Time to play God.
Okay, this is like the coolest cosmic horrors ever looked on this show.
Get rid of this!
Oh, I know that reference.
Okay, you weren't
Oh,
joking.
That's
Definitely a crisis level threat. Luckily, so am I.
Run all you want! If Bob couldn't escape me.
What hope do you have, boy?
Oh my god,
Afraid of the Dark Clark? What kind of a hero are you? Remind me again. Whatever happened to Lori?
Infinite tendrils.
Oh! Oh, this is great writing, actually! Oh, no.
Why did you fire?
Hit on the symbol.
It's over, Clark. There is no happy ending.
Oh,
Not for
this is
you.
a real good looking hand-drawn
Not for
animation.
me. Not for anyone else. In the void.
You had a good one,
Haven't
Bob.
you ever read a comic book, you big freaking nerd? There's always a happy ending.
Oh my god. The writing is this fire?
Oh!
Jesus Christ.
it was all a dream.
Nope.
We kept
Oh,
talking
no more
about
void.
Sentry.
Perfect!
Bad dream?
No idea, Lenny. Best sleep I've had in years.
Crisis
Personal crisis.
averted.
I don't think
That
I've
was
ever
really
seen
good.
someone beaten to
That was
death
really
so
fun.
wholesomely before.
Let's break this down
A
into
little-
3
it felt
chapters.
a little
Their
short,
strength,
but I enjoyed it.
intelligence,
I
and
enjoyed it.
powers.
As with any
Power.
flying
I
brick
love
fight,
that,
the
like,
first question you gotta
Crisis
answer is,
averted, oh my
who's
God.
stronger?
Prime and Sentry are naturally 2 of the heaviest hitters in DC and Marvel, more than capable of matching and surpassing Herald-level opponents like Superman and Thor.
Who are both strong enough to create and destroy an infinite number of timelines
Stop
with
that.
their clashes. Just absolute wacky bullshit like that.
Both of which alone could threaten all of DC Comics.
And
They
unlike
one
the
hell of a
Molecule
Domino's
Man,
meme of
there's
just
nothing to suggest the
Joker
Darkest Knight
sprays
was holding
Batman.
back. In a straight
Fights
brawl,
Perpetua.
Prime takes the edge in strength. But muscles aren't everything. Maybe
That
Sentry
time,
could figure out a way around Prime's brawn with his intelligence.
While Prime does possess a super advanced Kryptonian brain, he clearly does not use it to its full extent.
Yeah,
It's
I
less
wonder
that
who's
he's
gonna win this
dumb
one.
and more that he's a teenager and has a habit of crashing out.
The Sentry, on the other hand,
That's
has been
apples.
compared to Tony Stark and Reed Richards.
Unless Prime could find a way around Sentry's insane regeneration, he was toast.
Luckily for Prime, his ability to retcon
Retcon
away your
punch,
history
baby.
and mess with your whole timeline was
Yeah.
actually something Sentry
Yeah.
had no specific resistance to.
Not only that, it was something he's been affected by in the past.
Like the time the Scarlet Witch rewrote all of reality
there it
during
is,
House
the-
of M.
the Sentry
Bob's
killer.
continuity was rewritten like everyone else's.
Or the time
Thank you,
Absorbing
Wanda.
Man had the powers of a cosmic
Wanda.
cube and warped Sentry's personal reality. Shit, Moonstone literally describes it as a reality punch.
Now, Sentry's psionic power could
Yeah.
theoretically retcon himself from Prime's perception of reality. However, this feat required assistance from Reed Richards, and it's unlikely he could pull it off mid-fight.
Pre-crisis Kryptonians
Yeah.
also resist a lot of mind manipulation anyway, so good luck trying.
Now, Prime hasn't always had the most perfect control
Me when I
over
watched
his
Prime
retcon
vs.
punch,
Sentry,
so
it's a
he
good
might need
episode.
more than one blow to finish the job.
But Prime was more than capable of powering through Void's
Yeah, he
scariest
just had to
abilities.
punch
Like having
very
his
often,
soul
yeah.
eaten or being cut
just
off from
gotta
sunlight.
hit him
I guess that
really
solar
hard.
armor came in handy after all.
In
Very
short,
quick.
Prime could resist everything Sentry could throw at him, but Sentry couldn't do the same. Prime takes the final edge in powers.
With no way to easily put him
What's
down,
the next
Prime
time
would
gonna be?
eventually
Let's see.
muscle his way through
Okay,
and
what's gonna
retcon
be?
the void away for good.
Sorry, Bob.
Alright, is it
Defeat
just gonna be
was
the boring one?
unavoidable.
Alright,
The
well.
winner is
Go King
Superboy-Prime.
versus Alistair.
Alright. Oh.
Oh, hey, my pizza's here.
The winner is Superboy-Prime. Letter to the editors. Oh,
my
yeah,
God, you fucking
I
idiot.
win. That's right. You hack frauds really tried to lowball me, but I checked the clock and it's
You
prime
literally
time,
won!
baby.
Shut up!
Personally, that intelligence section was such
Oh my
a gimme.
God.
I don't crash out. I'm a tragic hero
Shut up!
grappling with real, intense
Nobody
emotion.
asked!
I can be smart anytime I want. But anyway, don't subscribe,
John
don't join
loser.
as a member, don't watch Death
That's why I
Battle,
love him.
read my comics. Prime out.
Next time
Shut the
on
fuck
Death
up,
Battle.
dude. hate that guy.
Yep, Anchor's
Oh,
Traveler.
Traveler, yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Yawn. I mean, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be something else.
That's the Kickstarter matchup's done at least.
Well, and now we get surprises from then on.
Yippee! I'll get my thoughts out of the way first, if that's okay.
Oh,
Are we
yeah, of
already
course.
recording? I forgot.
Yeah, the recording's still going.
Okay. Because usually
so-
there's a pause.
Yeah.
Alright.
So I'll just get my thoughts on the fight out of the way right now. First of all, I definitely have less experience with Prime than I do Sentry, but I think Prime's characterization here is super fun and endearing. He is very, like, reference heavy, which I know for a lot of people that's usually a downside, but it's Prime. His whole thing is just being a fucking insufferable nerd, so I think it comes off as pretty endearing, and even some lines are cheeky in a way that I appreciate, like the, come on, it's cool when I do it.
Yeah.
I don't have as much to comment on with Bob, but I do fucking love how the Void is presented in this. Not just with the 3D model and how they keep the MCU design, which I do think, like, not a particularly hot take, is the best of Void's designs. But also stuff like just the way he manifests by just splitting the Sentry in half, and even just chasing Prime through infinity itself. I didn't think they would actually, like, go to a cosmic horror length with this, but it is so fucking memorable. Probably, like, one of the best uses of just cosmic destruction in the show, just to show how fucking terrifying the Void is. And the happy ending as well. I know in a lot of cases people can find it kind of cheesy. I think it fits here not only because of how, like, nihilistic Merged Sentry's mindset was by the end, but also because it just feels like fun in a cheeky way that Clark does it specifically as a comic book. Like, it's not just a bullshit happy ending, it's something that Clark himself just does because yeah, I mean, that's the kind of shit he enjoys. The fight itself was, like, pretty short, all things considered, but it made very effective use of its time, I feel. And the analyses as well, just to cover that real quick. Yeah, I think they both are about as good as I could have hoped for. Pretty great. Obviously, I'm not the best, like, judge for this, because even though I did, like, read a Sentry comic or two for this episode, I'm still not the biggest, like, comic geek out there, but I do think they hit the perfect middle ground of, like, covering some of the absolute bullshit feats that both had, while still talking about, like, what made these characters endearing between Sentry's whole shtick with the Void, which is part of, like, why I really liked Sentry's 2000 run, and especially, actually just going back to the fight for 1 second, just how they encapsulated some of that same visual fidelity from the likes of the Sentry Hulk comic, which I really loved just how that looked with the use of black and red, which I think they got across perfectly here. And also covering, like, Superboy-Prime, how he was just an absolute immature twat job for much of his life, but it came around eventually. Yeah, I don't really have, like, a ton I can properly complain about, other than just small stuff like, yeah, I do think it could have been a bit longer, and maybe there was some stuff that could have been explained better or didn't really make sense, but I think that latter one is probably better explained by one of my more comic-loving friends here. So, if one of you guys want to take the stage now.
All right, hold on, give me a second. All right, so analysis, I'm gonna need a revisit. What since we were, like, talking to each other and such, but, like, from what I could get, they covered the story and the power set. There was a very good pacing between story stuff and scaling and power stuff. I thought it was really well paced all throughout. I thought that was really good. Sentries was solid, but there's also, I think, something that a Sentry analysis is would always struggle with, if with focusing on narratives, that the Sentry is a very he's a character who doesn't really get to grow and evolve because every run it just kind of regurgitates the same void shenanigans as the last. Like he has great moments and great writing, but like after a while it gets a little stale and repetitive. So, but they managed to make the analysis not feel that bad by not focusing too much on the void until like it was unavoidable. Unavoidable. I think it also ended in a pretty fun way because like obviously this was probably written before the current Sentry run. He was dead for a pretty decently long time. Uh, and they're like pretty good analysis. Superboy-Prime, one of the best coverage for any comic character the show has ever done. I'd say it's so well made. It tackles everything you need to tackle for Superboy-Prime. I'm a little upset there wasn't a mention of him being fucking. At least I didn't catch it. Like they didn't mention him being fucking betrayed and trapped in the source wall. Because that was really fun. That was a really funny moment for no. They just fucking let Bro in there. They just left him there. But other than that, like really good usage of Superboy-Prime story. Really good coverage. The fight. Like I mentioned earlier, I think the fight was a little short, just a little bit too short. I think there's a good level of like street tier fighting, or like not street tier, but like grounded, just flying around, throwing shit. And the ultra cosmic abstract stuff is really good. But I kind of wish there was like a little bit in between. Like the only real like planetary actually cosmic level was Void destroying those two planets, right? And then Superboy-Prime immediately flies out of infinity. I think ideally there could have been like a bit more of like a mid state where it's like cosmic destruction. I think that would have been more interesting because like they talk about how even holding back Sentry can blow up planets and such. I thought that would have been a little cool to include, but overall pretty cool, pretty good. I think everything about the Void is perfect. Everything about the Void is perfect. This is for the real Prime heads. But like when the Void is like, whatever happened to Lori? That shit sent a chill down my spine. That is such an important thing for like Prime stories after he goes back to Earth Prime. Is like that stage of the character where he's like back home, but everyone's scared of him because he's a fucking evil psychopath. Like there's some stories there where he does something to Lori, and it's like constantly ringing in his mind that he did something really bad to her. Like just the Void casually bringing it up is so cool. Oh, it's good. It's fucking awesome. And obviously like the ending is like pretty much perfect. It's basically everything you could ask for from Superboy-Prime win. Merge Sentry was underused, but that's accurate to the source material. Merge Sentry is the most wasted potential fucking nothing burger character of all time. So I'm not surprised that he only showed up, made a little speech about where he's like sad and shit, talk about the Void. Because like the Merge Sentry doesn't do shit, man. It makes me sad. But yeah, Verdict was pretty good. Basically what anyone could have expected, especially after the G1 blog, because like the G1 blog had pretty good coverage. Basically, just coming down to the Redcon punch is bullshit. But also, fucking Super Shut Prime making that speech. Oh, that's gonna be annoying to rewatch. I hate this guy. He pisses me off. He genuinely gets on my nerves. They wrote him so well. He genuinely gets on my nerves, and I want him gone.
When the character portrayal is so accurate, you hate it.
It's true. Yeah. Overall, I do genuinely think this might be like before this, my favorite Marvel vs. DC episode was Silver Surfer Martian Manhunter, because that one had a blend of analysis I really enjoyed and story in the animation. The narrative was something I also really liked. This has all that, but the fighting is also good. So yeah, I think this is my favorite Marvel vs. DC episode now. Yeah. So yeah, great time. Had a great time.
Who wants to go next? Will, do you want to go?
Sure, yeah. Like you both have said already, really, really good fight, really good, like overall. Don't have much to add when it comes to the analyses. They're both very good. I love the true background part of Sentries so much. It's such a nice like subversion of the usual format to go back to that. And of course, Primes as well is great, amazing editing as well. And then the fight, just no notes, absolutely wonderful. A few things that I loved. The freeze breath into the millions exploding suns, great. I love the Kryptonian freeze breath as a move, and I love seeing it being included in such a way that makes it feel important and powerful. Um, I love also, speaking of things that I love regarding Superman, the Daily Planet being involved in any capacity. Loved it. I also loved how uh, Sentry basically starts the fight tossing the planet at Superboy-Prime, and then when Void comes out, he then tosses the planet at Superboy-Prime as well as the moon. Uh, Other things, also on the topic of Void coming out, I like how it kind of fulfills the need to have a death in how Void comes out by effectively killing Bob. Like, not literally, but the way it's animated feels like it would be a pretty good way to end the fight if it was just a regular gory death. And also, on the topic of ending the fight, I love how the fight ends because it's such a prime way to say fuck you to Death Battle by saying, yeah, we're going to have our happy ending. We don't care about this. They have to die at the end no matter what. We're doing this because we want to. The only problem I had, like Chris had said before, Merge Sentry didn't do a whole lot, but that's comic accurate, so not a whole lot to do. And then the analysis, post analysis, great, went over everything right. Superboy-Prime at the end, just uh, it's just a really good episode. I liked it a lot.
Sweet. Jess, if you want to finish
It-
this off then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like pretty much like what everyone has said. I feel like that pretty much just encapsulates anything. If you love this match or you want to see it, that you could have possibly written it down so seamlessly. Like, I think what I was especially impressed by, beyond like how authentic to comic art and aesthetic it was there with the onomatopoeia and all that. Like, I was most impressed probably by how like the Void is, both in terms of the writing and how visually how ethereal and not of this world it really is. Like I did not expect like rotoscoping to be used going into this, and I was very impressed it went as well as it did. And I also, just really, and it was kind of funny actually thinking about how the freeze breath got more way to shine than any actual Superman episode before this did. I thought that was kind of funny, and also just really loving how much Prime is still, he's an absolute like loser. Like, you're not writing Prime if he's not wanting to say the most cringe thing you've ever heard every few minutes. And I really loved how much like the heroism of things of wanting to be what Superman really stood for, which is like what the heart of the comparison has been, really got to like shine so well. And basically just there's always a happy ending. It's God, that's like such like so inspired and so like original at the same time. I really love that. It's so, and like defying everything that this show stood for, by because like both Sentry and Void are dead, but Bob is still alive and now just living a normal life. It was just a fucking wink to the audience after reading a comic itself. Like, that is like so sick. I also like did recognize a lot of the iconic scenes are referenced there, like of New Genesis and Apocalypse colliding on Superman when the two planets came in, and obviously the Bonds of Infinity scene. I thought that was really cool as well. But overall, I thought that was really sick. It lived up to everything I wanted from both, and I don't really have much to complain about.
Yeah, when they hyped this up as like the next top tier Marvel vs. DC episode, they weren't fucking kidding.
Yeah, there was like never been like cosmic horror portrayed better than in that episode than here.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. It's so I'm gonna be rewatching this for a while.
As
Yeah.
will I.
So yeah, don't think we really have a ton to say about the next time because it's kind of just been in limbo for 2 years now.
Now I have an excuse to watch Avatar.
Now I
Instead of
have an
lurking
excuse
it
to
like I
go
have.
back to learning about Genshin lore without playing the game. Yay!
Now they have an excuse to make an Avatar episode above a 6 out of 10.
Now,
Yay!
True.
now I have an excuse to finally break this episode out of the iceberg.
That's true.
Now Paramount has an excuse to release the movie. They're not fucking doing that.
I mean, if they didn't with
I mean-
Megamind, I don't think they will with Aang.
Mhm.
I really was expecting this I thought they were planning to line this up with the release of the movie. So I am a little surprised. I thought this was gonna be end of the year for sure. But oh well.
I mean, it kind of aligns to like Evo and the Avatar fighting game, I guess.
Yeah. I guess the only unfortunate thing is that this is coming in the face of like Mihoyo being in hotter water than ever, but
I hear
I mean they
that
kinda
like
had to release this at some stage.
I hear that like the Genshin update where Traveler gets their last element isn't even like it's still in the process of getting like teasers and stuff. So like oh well, shouldn't have promised this 2 years ago. Shouldn't have promised this 2 years ago. Should have waited.
This is really just continuing on the trend of Aang episodes having the worst fucking timing.
What was Aang versus Ed's timing thing?
Ed's VA being in a lot of fucking
Oh,
hot
right,
water.
right.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the episode will be good anyhow.
Yeah.
I hope.
But all I just ask is please make the bending have actual martial arts choreography for once in your show's lifespan.
Nah.
Well,
fair enough.
I'll remain optimistic. But yeah, thank you guys for being here, and this was a really
course.
great episode.
Yeah, I was very overjoyed I got to be a part of this one, so thank you so much, man.
Same
Yeah.
here. Thank you for having me.
It's always fun being here. Always a
Yeah.
great time.
Well, until next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.